Okay, so coming to the first part, abstract should be moved up a bit, it should be on top, and the line spacing should be one for abstract, and you have to finish the abstract within 500 words and one page with three paragraphs. This is the correction. Don't put keywords in the abstract here. Content-wise, this looks okay. Only thing is this Roman page number has to be in the center. Then if you see, each chapter should have introduction and summary, but this summary of should be something. So you don't keep anything which just say summary of literature review chapter or something like that. Coming to the next part, I think more or less this is auto-generated and it's perfect. Only thing is you 4.2.7 जो है उसका थोड़ा ध्यान रखना है. It is getting overlapped or touching 154. If you can rewrite that again, uh, technical contributions. You don't put the sentences incomplete, so I had to put key findings of the thesis or something like that. And next list of figures are now corrected, but list of overview of objective one, two, three, four. You should be more specific rather than just saying that overview of objective. It's not readable and clear like methodology for even it's not understandable. So it has to be short, but it should make sense also. So you have to match or balance. Other captions are very good. Again, here you can just take care of this longer captions like 4.3, 4.4. So as I mentioned, put rectangular bracket and then curly bracket. Then coming to the list of tables, it looks okay. ये just 4.5 का जरा देख लो. Nomenclature again, let's look okay. So there are list of symbols, list of short forms, and then nomenclature. So accordingly, list of symbols and that you can add if there are any symbols used in your mathematical terms. Chapter 1 introduction. I think this is all SVU formatting, so I will not comment on it. You might have followed it correctly. What I remember is this caption should be one font size smaller than your text. So just check that. If it is 12, then that is 11. So that it becomes very easy to. And I could see that line spacing for captions, it's less. So that way we can identify. But just check once. Then this looks odd. If it is a context, then full stop and then starting with paragraph. So if it is the like title, like this is perfect. 1.2 background and then you have this particular. But don't put this full stop. It should be colon. So just check that. And once you put colon, then your text should not start with the next bit. So please fix that. These are the two long paragraphs. Just break each and every paragraph with 3 and 4 lines and do not extend it. So this is a good size paragraph. Do not extend huge paragraphs like this. This is big. Again, most of the terms are good and well defined. So I think this is the list of symbols what I was talking about. And figure 1.4 represents. So try to bring every statement related to that figure, you know, closer to that figure or below the figure. So the figure of it, increase the text and then it will appear properly. This is figures are fantastic. Only thing is now you have to take care of naming them. So try to put these names inside only so that if somebody just reading the figure, so you have to think in a way that one can only read the figures, one can only read figure with caption, and then one can look for the explanation just below the figure. So I know in latex that is difficult, but if possible, try to keep it that way. Figure, its caption, and then its explanation. Many places I could see that there is no space between your citation and corresponding uh, previous text. So just add one space, always space between unit and the number also, which you have maintained, I guess. But with this, I could see that the space is missing. So I think this is the figure which we talked about just now. So this is okay. Page number eight. Yeah, this is where I should, there should be capability and then space. Coming to that, uh, if we can increase the font size of this ABC in this diagram, would be great. Again, try to avoid the unnecessary spaces if they are inserted by us. If it is reason of justification, we can accept it. Try to avoid giving this kind of citations inside a caption of the figure. Uh, just check if it is only cited once. If there are from different papers, then 9, 10, 11, that should be done. But currently, since all three are from single image, you can cite it all three at once. Then I think citations are very good. I don't know. It should be cited like this: full stop, then curly bracket, then citation, and then again full stop. Just check that. Uh, it should be agreement, then space, then rectangular bracket, citation, then full stop, and maybe closing of the bracket. I don't know. There are sometimes you are given the spacing perfectly between citation and but sometimes we have missed it. Is it not because of justification? It's we have missed it. So try to look for rectangular bracket or slash site and ensure that you insert space slash site and search and replace all. But if there is already space, then you should not put double space. So that also take care. Uh, I could see many times you define terms like this, but without any figure, it becomes difficult to understand. So you can define those terms properly. Uh, you assume that as a third person आपका thesis कोई read कर रहा है तो उसको वो terms सारे समझ में आने चाहिए. Direct short form तो कहीं नहीं आना चाहिए. So you ensure that it is defined first and then it is going. बोल्ड चीजें नहीं लिखते कैपिटल में तो ये इसको स्मॉल करना होगा. आर क्यू क्या होता है तो वो एक बार डिफाइन कर लो अगर तुमको रिसर्च क्वेश्चन करने तो जनरली try to avoid as many short forms as you can. So just search and replace RQ with research question. Right? Try to give everything as full form. So objective one. Diagrams are fantastic, but somehow don't reuse the same uh, clip arts, what we say, multiple diagrams. Looks all. Figures are fantastic, but I would have named it with an arrow. We removed or blurred the background. Yeah, avoid putting such tables like okay, if you are putting the contribution to they should be cited with the research papers you have generated. Uh, Clinical statement. Okay, problem statement should be a single statement along with the scope. There should be aim and objectives of the thesis. They come after problem statement. Contribution of the thesis is fantastic, but again, I would have given links, hyperlinks, and then make sure that they're easily found out like patent and all. Practical contribution. Here, the one more photo or same photo can be put over here. And then patent IDs, pictures, we can put over here. organization of, okay, so they are there, but somehow they got misplaced. So please fix it. So organization of this is fantastic. Again, give it in more detail. Most of the times, people copy this section as the review of the thesis, so it has to be given in more details. In summary of your chapter, introduction chapter, and there should be a connector link between chapter one, chapter two. So here you can say after understanding the basic introduction in chapter one, now we are going. So there should be some connectivity when we connect the thesis. Again, as I mentioned, some pictures you can put from the literature, like not like this, but their own works from their papers, concept diagrams you can put. I think most of the diagrams you have drawn yourself, but there should be some pictures like LBP so that somebody will understand. Okay, so this picture is coming afterwards. So you can see just while reading or scrolling also, I'm feeling that its picture should be the first and then you should explain it the equation. So please fix the flow, add some more text or get rid of some text, but the flow of reading should be corrected. And try to avoid as many short forms as you can. And if you are using short forms, symbols, so their list of symbols is different than nomenclature and then short forms. So accordingly, you adjust it on the first page whenever you are correcting it. So again, why these things are coming in bold? Bold is considered as when you are angry. So don't put anything in bold in between. Or if there are new sections like this, that is okay. But then again, you ensure that you define contrast first and then give the equation. That will be better. Uh, So I would say you please define all these features and then you give the mathematics of it. One line definition is good enough. Then try avoid putting more information in single plot. You can just split them around. Like number of figures may increase, but they look big and easy to read. The features is okay. Again, somehow, okay, so this is somebody else's work, so that's good. This is what I was talking about. So that it will be easy for us. I think you have put the figures of other papers, but again, I would recommend the I and it is written figure reproduced from rather than this DOI. So they change it. So you have some of the other people's work. So yeah, this is a good figure. If you can give some figures about 1D CNN, how it looks, multi-layers perceptron, how it looks, k-means clustering, key neighborhood neighbor. So with some diagram, if you can show, that will be great. And as soon as I say with some diagram again, then your diagrams appear. So somehow flow of the pages, like for reader perspective, it's somehow not correct. It's there, but it's not coming whenever they are needed. जंग हो जाने के बाद में हथियार भेज के क्या फायदा उस हिसाब से वो फिगर्स आते हैं सो फिगर्स अपने अपने लोकेशन पे ले आना थोड़ा उस पे काम करना पड़ेगा हाँ again see figures are going in the end of the section so there should be this figure is okay but again it's end of the section so everywhere I could see that you have the information but it's not properly placed. Please fix the placement of the figure. So it should be always introduce the title, give the figure, and then give the uh, text. So first you start the title, then put a figure, then caption, and then explanation. So just putting Xavier initialization and then this kind of random equation without equal to sign. I'm not sure whether it's correct or not. Let's ensure that put this tilde sign, what is the meaning approximately equal to whatever you want to say, just put that in words and just to write at least one line. It looks very weird when you start a section like this, then put a full stop and then don't write anything about it. So just avoid doing that. Again, try to avoid putting this kind of full stops in between writing in bold. I think this should be on new line. So put double slash there. Again, avoid putting this kind of one, two, three, four. So don't put five, six references in single. Uh, so generally they are in line. So I don't know why it happened, but it should say 96 dash 98. Should not come like this. So just check what is the problem with the citation NatBib file or something like that. Again, try to avoid this kind of weird justification. So just to check whether you can avoid this justification. Right. Suddenly found that summary you have gap 1, gap 2, gap 3, gap 4 mentioned. There will be more than 4 gaps. Now you have done so much of literature search. There could be 15 gap listed and then you say we are addressing only 4 of them. And then you can just explain. Okay. See, this chapter name is too big. Can you just make it a bit smaller? Just the chapter introduction should fit your summary. And again, have a connector. After understanding the literature review, we go into the details of how we did the experiments or something like that. So there is no personal touch or connectivity to this. So just try to bring that just connection from previous chapter to next chapter. Just see if you can avoid this kind of things. Just adjust the spacing so that operating environment will fit. Somehow tables, if you can control the fixed width with that command, it would be easy. Check with this dashes and generally when we write with AI, those unnecessary dashes come. So just get rid of those dashes. If they are really required, then only put it. I could not see that real problem statement. Like you showed two similar images and then you mention the main problem statement around your thesis. So that is where people will come to know, they both are looking very similar. And that's why your all machine learning will be justified. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And try to avoid putting so numbers wherever you have numbers. Check if it has some plus minus error bars. But I think this is with data set. So that should be correct. There should not be any error one. But then random selection decisions. Now, this is a very last minute thing, but try to avoid putting bold words in writing at least. Also in figures, because bold means you are angry. So I guess you are not angry. So don't put anything in bold. Only bold you can put when you don't want to create a section, but I don't want to number it as a subsection, but I want to make it highlighted. Then you can put it in bold, but again, not with the full stop, with the full. Uh, See if the spacing with the line is consistent. If not, just fix it. I could see that it is bit inconsistent, or it might just that it appears inconsistent. Just give some fixed spacing in the geometry of your uh, initial settings so that will never appear to be like this. Because this looks weird now. So weird. Text should have started it. Why we leave so much of space somewhere in between. So I know this happens when you have a lot of figures and suddenly we say slash new figure, new page. So that's where it happens. But keep it simple like figure, its caption, then its explanation. Figure, its caption, and its explanation. And explanation should be at least twice the size of the figure so that it fits properly. Then again, try to avoid this change of font. I don't know why it happened, but it happens with the coding. So it reads incorrect, incorrect. What are you saying? Then somehow you have not still fixed the size. But maybe this is a very big diagram to redraw. But try to fix the size of the diagram. Try to bring every block a center में the text. I know it's very small things, but we should take care of them. So why this operator dependent has a dash in between or device required has a dash in between. These are the things which raise the eyebrows. Uh, Again, if you want to highlight it like funginet, put it in single quotes. Try to, if you want, I would have added one line between the each of these sections so that it becomes easier for reader. And whenever you do like this, please put line and then put no indent so that it appears correctly. Some of these diagrams are very good and very fantastically drawn and made. But basically, this is a corrections video, so don't feel that everything is bad in the thesis, but there is bad we are highlighting here. So definitely it is for improvement. Some of the things are very well made diagrams. See, like you don't define what is specificity and then it starts with the question. So just reverse the order. Everything is there. It's not ordered correctly for a reader. Again, when you put a number, then you don't need to make it bold. So just take care that either you put a number. This is the fantastic way. Put a bullet point, then put your thing in bold colon, and then you write. This is a fantastic way of writing any subsections without numbering. That is how you should have done it throughout the syllabus, what you are doing in 3.8 section, throughout the thesis. Sorry. Yeah. Chapter name, if you can just reduce down just 2 lines max, looks very big. But if it is necessary, you can keep it. But I would have just tried to fit everything in. And then you have to ensure that 4.2.1 is exactly correlating with 3.2.1 so that 4.2 is exactly correlating to 3. So that results somebody wants to read, you can directly mention at the end of 3.2 that results will be available in 4.2 and so on and so forth. So ensure that page number is also mentioned, but that is tough because it changes. So I'm not sure when I say center align your pin number on the top, why this thing was missing. If this thing is necessary, then it should be there everywhere. So just check that. If it is missing, then your pin number should be in center. So again, because of this, your enzyme up, this font size has become small since you have this LDA plus JSN is not split into two lines. So you can ensure that this is a fantastic size figure. So this is how all the figures should be. They're readable and very clear. Okay, so by this time, we should reach to a point where patience of reader is ended. So to ensure that you keep the consistency with your points like 0.002 or zero point 0.9. So 0.900 रखो या फिर इसको plus point. अच्छा, I guess it's zero. That's why you have extended to 3 point. So this plus error bar has to be consistent. If you want to put it to up to 3 or 4 decimal places, that is okay. But then make sure that it is consistently put because it might be 0.901. Nah? So that is the reason. Try to avoid this tilde because approximately equal to is not what we say during the thesis. No? It was 0.95. But, why did you put just justified otherwise? And please search and see whether these dashes are required. Like this non-fungal is definitely when we require a dash, but ensure that throughout the thesis, these dashes are generally AI tool puts dashes so that AI identifier can read those dashes. And yes, between full stop and next B, there should be a space. Like you have given a space between one and B, but spacing is some throughout the thesis. I found it to be odd. And why this random curly bracket ending over here? I don't. You see that all this latex formatting error must be there. Somehow, when we miss that slash percent, it happens. So please go through the thesis slowly and see whether this kind of errors are not made. And just at one glance, if I can see you, you have to go through slowly. Again, 1D, then there should be a dash. So just check where what are the standard ways of writing some of the things. Overall, whenever you put a error bar, there should be one capital N saying that how many times you repeated to get that error bar. Otherwise, standardly you mention wherever there is a error bar, it was accident repeated 3 times because 3 is the that minimum number we generally take to get the error bars. And whenever you say these confusion matrix, they are of one instance. Huh? You're not running them again and again. So generally these numbers also, since these are screenshot, they don't have any description, but they should have plus minus if they are run multiple times. Like every time you can't get same confusion matrix. And don't call it conclusion. This conclusion word is bad. So try to avoid somewhere in between you conclude because results and discussion go separately. So once in methodology you say what you did, in the results you said what you achieved, and in discussions then you discuss why did you achieve that and what was the problem. So try to avoid this overview type words in between. Could go all in discussions. Try to avoid making this direct plots so small. Just make them big and readable. Now, why you are leaving white space on both sides and not making this so small compared to the original text? Just avoid doing that. And try to avoid this kind of start of new paragraph just at the end. Just ensure that you increase one more line in this text. And this goes to the next page. Yeah. So this is where discussion starts. You ensure that whenever you have discussion and then 4.5 and 4.5.1, at least you write one line. Ki now we are starting with discussion sections with the section and so on. So never start like that. Okay, just ensure that it's always conclusions. You are not just putting single conclusion. Here you have done it correctly, conclusions, but key findings. Okay. Again, conclusion chapter or experiment wise, if you can give instead of merging them together. It's all your summaries that you put will come into this section. So should be a bigger paragraph. Conclusions is something from thesis whatever you have derived. Future scope, definitely you should put some diagrams. चैप्टर पूरा ही गपची मारा हुआ लग रहा है. It has to be at least 10-page chapter, but it looks like just 3-page finishing. And as I mentioned, all references should be proper Scopus index, SCI index, and most importantly, uh, yeah, all these publications should have its hyperlink with DOI, all the details so that reviewer could easily find them directly. In fact, you have seen how I give the information on my website. Just click it and you will get the papers and patents, everything. Acknowledgements, great. One, I think to my family or you have to dedicate it, that page is also missing. So, yeah, I will stop giving you the further comments for your planning to submit it by tomorrow, but all the best. Stop recording now.